Hi everyone, welcome to a Stamping to Share video. My name is Kay Kalthoff and today I'm going to share with you how I created this cute little card. It's made with quite a few products from our Occasions mini catalog and we only have until April 30th to place an order out of that catalog. So let me go ahead and show you how I was inspired. Today I got this magazine in the mail from Coldwater Creek and I really loved the beautiful shirt that she's wearing. It sort of reminds me of the Summer Smooches limeade print, but I guess I was more interested in the color, which is Calypso Coral. And so I thought, well, what do I have that has a lot of Calypso Coral in? And so I happened to remember that we have a designer series paper in our Occasions mini catalog called Sweet Shop. And it has a really cute motif with some hearts. And I think people were using this paper a lot around Valentine's Day, but you know what? Hearts are never out of style. I always use them year-round. And so that's what I chose to do for this card. And so let me go ahead and take you through the process. When you start with making a card, you want to start with a 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, and then you're just going to cut it in half, right like that. And then when you take it and fold it in half like this, you end up with your standard size card base, which is 5.5 by 4.25. So that's what we're going to use today, a standard size card base. So go ahead and make sure this line is nice and ready. Then the next layer that I'm going to put on this card base is 5.25 by 4 inches. That's layering it 1/4 inch down on each side. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue. Now I like to keep my glue in an old Avon container and I just use very small amounts. Typically I don't even put glue on Whisper White paper, but because this is a bottom layer and you're not going to see it anyway, I will go ahead and use it here. But you saw how very little that I used. And you'll notice how handy it is for me to keep my glue in this glass jar because I don't ever have to put the cap back on. I can just turn it upside down in the jar and grab it back and forth whenever I need it. The next layer that we're going to put on this card is a piece of our specialty Sweet Shop Designer Series paper, and it's cut 1/8 inch smaller than the white layer. So it's cut at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And before I put this layer down, I'm going to show you how to trim up this little smile that we're going to use at the bottom. So what I did to create this smile is I used our Calypso Coral ink, and our ink pads can be a little tricky if you're not familiar with them. I always imagine it being like a little shelf. You'll see there's a little lip here, and if you put your fingers underneath that lip and take your thumb and push away, your ink pad pops open, and then you just bring it around like this and open it up and slide it into place. And that's how you open up a Stampin' Up ink pad. Then I have the word smile put on a clear mountain block. And I'm just going to ink this up. I'm going to just stamp it on a little piece of scrap paper here. You'll see how that looks. Then I'm going to take my word window punch, and using it upside down, I can go ahead and get that in there just right and punch it out. Now what I'm going to do is put just the teeniest little bit of glue on the back here, and this will actually work really nice. It covers that heart perfectly. And the reason I'm putting my sentiment on right now is because I want to be able to trim this edge nice and even. So now I'll just take a scissors, provided I can find one. Oh my goodness, where did my scissors go? Wouldn't you know? How could I have lost my scissors? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. You know how they tend to get away on you. I think they have legs. So here we go. We're just going to trim this up even with the edge of our cardstock. And then sometimes I actually go from the back. I think I do a better job going from the back. I can see it better. So there it is, trimmed nice and even. And now we're going to adhere that to our card base. And again, I'm going to use a little bit of glue. And we're going to adhere that. And what I like about glue is it gives me just a little bit of wiggle room so that I've got a chance to wiggle it into place and make sure that all of my layers are perfectly even. So we're pretty far already on our card. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to cut a panel of Calypso coral paper at 3 7/8 by 3 3/16. And that gets glued down. And I'm just going to go so that we can see one full layer of hearts. And that works pretty well. And I've got just a little bit of time. Whoops. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to wrap my ribbon. So I think I've got a little time yet. I'm going to pull this off. And I'm actually going to take my white panel, which is cut at 3 7/8 by 3 inches. And I'm just going to layer my white panel right over this. See? It doesn't matter how long you've been stamping, you're always going to oops up. Once in a while, you just do that. So we're going to take this, and now we're going to add our ribbon. So ribbon really dresses up a card, I think. So we're just going to go ahead and trim that off. And then, I'm kind of picky about my ribbon. I like it being really secure. So I'm just going to take some Scotch tape, tape the ribbon down. I know a lot of demonstrators like to use the snail to attach their ribbon on the, but when I'm doing it on the back of the card, and I just want to make sure it's going to stick there really good. Alright, so there we go. We've got our panel, and now we are going to glue it down. So we'll go back to that step where I wanted to go before, and we are going to put that one heart down. So you can see how nicely that lines up. There we go. And you can see the little smile looks good. Now we have to add our flower feature. And so what we're going to do is, I have these really pretty blossom builders. This is an item that is also in our Occasions mini catalog, and you get 2 sheets with lots and lots of flowers, and you can do lots of flower building with them. But in this particular case, we're going to use the Poppy Parade color flower, and you just pop it out like this. And this one's really neat. It has some kind of Celtic motif on it, and I like that a lot. So we're just going to put that there. Then we're going to take our piece of scrap paper again, and we're going to take our Blossom Builder punch, which is also in our Occasions mini catalog. We are just going to punch out a blossom, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue back here, and I'm just going to layer it right over the top of my flower. And you see how nicely that layers? The Blossom Builder punch out actually echoes the layer from the Blossom Builder punch outs that Stampin' Up! Provides. Alright, so now we have this, and it's looking pretty good, but I think we need to add something else. So we are going to take our BoHo Blossoms punch. We're just going to use this bigger flower right here. Add a little bit of glue and put that right in the center. And that looks real good. Now we're just going to add some dimensionals. We'll see if I can find my dimensionals. Oh, we're good. We found those. They didn't run away. Now I'm just going to put 2 dimensionals on. That's really all you need. You just want to capture it above and below the ribbon. So we'll go ahead and set this like this. Oops, did we get it even? It's hard sometimes if I'm not directly over it. There we go. Alright, we've got a very beautiful card. Now we're ready to add our pearl, which is another item in our mini catalog. And they look like this. They're 8mm size pearls, and I use a paper piercing tool to pick it up, and then you can place it right where you want it on your flower. Press that down, and we have a completed card front. But of course, a card is never actually completed until the inside is done. And so what you will need for the inside panel is a sheet of white Whisper White paper cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And in this case, I'm going to use just snail across the top. And the reason for that is because I think glue might show through. So we're going to go ahead and just use snail. And we're going to put that right like that. And now I've also cut a 4" by 1/2 inch piece of Designer Series paper to put at the bottom. It works out really nice because it shows a whole entire row of hearts, and I like that. So I'm just going to put a little glue on this. Because again, the glue won't show through here, seeing as it's designer paper. And we'll just put that on the bottom. Line it up. And that way, when your family member or friends opens up their card, they have a nice little finished inside, along with your handwritten note. And that's the card. I hope you've enjoyed this Stamping to Share video, and I hope you come back and visit again. Thanks so much. Have a happy day. Bye-bye.